Alrighty, guys. Welcome to New Jersey HorrorCon's Night of the Demons panel. We have two legends here today. So make some noise for Linnea Quigley and Amelia Kinkade. Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time and being with us here today. So I like to start, chronologically at the beginning. Do you guys remember where you were when you first heard about the project or first read the script and what your first impressions were?
Oh my, I was in my kitchen and I got a call from my manager saying that they wanted to see me for this movie about these teenagers in a house that's haunted. And I said, I'm not gonna go. Because I wasn't a teenager and I was so tired of the rejection. Because in Hollywood, there's so much rejection. Oh, you're too old. And so he called me about 4 times when I said, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. And finally, they, oh, no, the director really wants to see you. I said, okay, I'll go. And I went, and they, hired me without, I didn't have to audition or anything. And I was, stunned. I was so happy about it.
I did not know you didn't have to audition.
Oh.
But they knew who you were already.
They knew who I was.
They knew you from other movies.
Yeah, that's why.
What was your most famous movie that you had just done?
Return of the Living Dead.
So they already knew who you were.
They knew, so.
And they were lucky to get you.
Yeah. It was fun. I was lucky to get it.
I think they were pretty lucky to have both of you.
That's right.
Amelia,
Wow.
do you remember?
You know, one time, and now I've forgotten who it was. It was somebody huge. It wasn't Meryl Streep, but it was someone like that who won an Oscar. And they said, do you know, where were you when you got the call that you had won the Oscar? And she said, I was scooping my kitty litter.
Oh my God.
And I found out I was an Oscar nominee. So I just want to borrow that line.
Wow.
I probably was scooping kitty litter at
Is it
the
a plug
time.
for Tidy Cat, or is there a specific brand of kitty litter?
No, it was just, I was scooping my kitty litter.
Wow.
I was in beautiful downtown Van Nuys. Not the best part of LA. And I'd moved out and spent a year with my aunt, Rue McClanahan, of the Golden Girls fame.
Oh, wow.
Blanche.
Wow.
I came to Hollywood as a dancer. I had no intention of being an actress at all. None.
Wow.
And Rue made me do it.
Wow.
She made me do it.
So the Golden Girls is partially responsible for Night of the Demons.
Completely responsible.
That is, I think,
if she hadn't talked me into being an actress, I would never have done it.
That is my new favorite intersection of pop culture ever, right there. Golden Girls and Night of the Demons. That's amazing.
Wow. And I read the script, and the reason I wanted the role was the dancing.
Absolutely.
That when I saw the dance sequence, I went, okay, that's it, I want it.
Now, just a sidebar, because you brought up the dance. Had you seen Linnea's dance from Return of the Living Dead before you shot yours?
Probably not.
No,
No, you hadn't seen it, huh?
no.
Oh, wow. So
That's right, we both danced in movies.
you're the most famous horror dances in the history of horror dances, both of you.
I never
Oh.
thought of
Hands
that.
down.
I never thought of that before either.
No, definitely.
that's
So I guess you
pretty amazing.
definitely didn't give her any point, I'll tell you how to do an iconic horror dance scene. I guess it was just natural. All right,
No,
very
hers
cool.
was amazing.
Well,
They were both
I'm sure
amazing.
yours was too.
Yes.
He let me do whatever I wanted. He just followed me around with a handheld.
Wow.
He went go crazy.
And did I hear you pick the song for that? Is that right?
I did, and I never thought I'd get it.
Wow.
Because I was kind of like, the candy punk rocker. We were all wannabes, spraying our hair pink, and I had a crew cut, when I came out.
Oh, wow.
A blonde crew cut. But I had a girlfriend who was a real punk rocker.
Okay.
And she said, you've got to use this Bauhaus song.
Yeah.
And then when we listened to it, I said, we're never going to get the rights to this. This is impossible to do. And one of the many magical occurrences in this string of movies, we got the rights to that song, which is just impossible to do.
And I could not imagine it with any other song. So another one I wanted to ask you guys, what was the vibe like on set? This always seemed like a movie to me that was everyone was having a great time, everyone got really close, and they practical jokes on each other, that kind of stuff. Was it a really fun movie to shoot?
No.
No.
That makeup was horrible. Oh my God, torture.
It's not easy to have fun when your cheeks are velcroed behind your face. I mean, the reason that possession makeup looks so scary, and it's you in that first scene when you're the first one to get possessed.
You're right.
Your chin was up, and when you dropped your chin down, because Steve had hooked our cheeks.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why it's so terrifying, because that gives it that not quite human look.
Wow.
It does.
Yeah. So I guess I had the totally wrong. I was thinking like, oh man, everyone's high-fiving after a day's shoot, like going out for drinks and having a great time. And
We shot all night, so he
right,
would
yeah.
torture us for 6 to 9 hours
Oh,
in the
wow.
makeup chair.
Who was it that slept in their makeup because it was so horrible?
Hal.
That's it.
Hal was begging because we'd film all night after we'd been in the makeup chair for 6 hours. And then, they'd set me on fire or put me on roller skates and push me down, or I'd dance or whatever. And you got tortured to the nines. And the next morning, it took an hour and a half to peel it off. So we'd sit there and try not to cry while they're peeling the prosthetics off our face. That wasn't fun either.
that does not sound like a good
Now,
time.
I've heard makeup's gotten a lot easier since we did that.
CGI.
Yeah, it's just green paint now. So, what about working with Kevin? What kind of vibe does he like to keep on, as a director? Is he, real tough, really easygoing, an actor's director? How would you describe that process?
Kevin is really fun and funny. If you say something, he'll have a quip for it like that.
Oh, wow.
He'll just go off you and and he was fun, and he played tricks on us too because he had a beard, and one day he shaved it off and nobody noticed it. It's like he'd been directing us and nobody noticed.
Wow.
So he'd do little things like that. He was
Okay.
really an actor's friend,
Oh, that's cool.
very positive.
Awesome, very cool. Amelia, any memories, Kevin?
After a really difficult scene, Kevin would yell, "Chock full o' art."
Oh.
Remember that?
No, I don't.
You remember chock full o' art?
Okay, now I do. Oh my God. Wow.
No, he let us be as creative as we needed to be. So we did a lot of improv. Every single performance was a different actor's take on what it means to be possessed.
Yeah.
If somebody put a camera on you and said, "Okay, you're possessed now, act possessed,"
I would be laughed right out of the business.
what does that mean
Do it.
to you? And there was no way to direct it. They had to find actors who brought it.
Yeah.
And in the auditions, we brought it.
I want to know what her audition was like.
I actually want to know that too. So
Yeah.
thank you for asking that. Yeah.
I was supposed to be this, at this point, this murderous killer. And I got in the casting agent's face, like I kind of crawled up over her desk in Tedra Gabriel's face and just kind of started flirting with her, like smiling. And she said, I scare the hell out of her.
Wow.
That's great.
She'll still say I scare the hell out of her.
That's amazing.
Because I thought, how am I going to play this against character? You can't go rah. What are you going to do?
Yeah, right.
You're supposed to be possessed. How are you going to make that believable?
Yeah. No, that's a really amazing choice though. That's a fantastic way to play it. So another thing I've always loved about this movie is, the 80s were chock full of a lot of, slasher movies that kind of assembly line kind of came off the mold. And they're great movies. I love them. But something about Night of the Demons always felt very fresh and kind of outside the box of the norm of what was going on at that time. And I was wondering for each of you, what to you think helps set Night of the Demons apart from some of the other films of the same era?
Well, we weren't being killed. We didn't have this girl's a bad girl because she has sex or she smokes or she does this. It was like this demon getting into all of us. And we didn't die, we just were possessed. And I think, you know, in all the like Freddy movies and Jason movies and all those, it was just, you know, if you had sex, you'd die. And it was very predictable. This wasn't predictable.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Amelia, your thoughts?
Well, I think now, more than ever, with the whole female empowerment that's happening now, when I look at the movie, it was about a female heroine. Kathy wins at the end.
Yeah.
You know? She wins at the end.
Yeah.
And they used to laugh all the time about Alvin because he said this was the first horror movie where a black man survived.
Wow.
Right.
That's very likely to be true, I think.
Alvin says that,
Yeah.
and that's true.
Wow.
And even though my character is this villainous, you know, tiger bitch from hell, I don't start out that way. I was the one who said, no, we should not do a seance in this house. This house is possessed.
Yeah.
I was the voice of reason, and then we all got it. We were all kind of victims to it. And there were very, very powerful females in the movie. The villains and the heroine are all women. Have you ever thought about that before?
No, I didn't.
I never thought about that before.
No.
Pretty incredible
It's
stuff.
true.
Yeah, very true. So one image from the film that is like burned into every fan's mind forever is, of course, the broken mirror shot. Do you guys have any memories of filming that or the setup to that? Did it take was that a crazy, complicated? It had to be insane to set that
They
up.
kept moving us around. They kept, you know, just positioning us so, and we had to stay so still. And I remember I thought, oh my God, this is so arty. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we had to stay in an exact position, not move an inch at all. So we had to really be on top of ourselves.
Yeah, it must have been pretty tough to shoot. Amelia, your memories pretty much the same, or?
I think that was the best thing that Kevin's done. In that film in particular, I think that was the best thing.
Definitely.
And a lot of what we're talking about, that freshness, that kind of innocence and that exuberance and the excitement, every single actor was just absolutely going for it. Nobody held back anything. And we were having a ball. To answer your question, we had a ball.
I knew there was a little fun to be had
We
in
really
there.
got along, and we're still friends. And now when we do these reunions, we have a blast
Oh,
because
I'll
we
bet.
adore each other. The whole
bet.
cast does. There's not one bad apple in the cast.
Wow, that's a very rare thing.
It's amazing.
Very rare.
And Joe Augustin is who I give credit. The writer was the one who created something magical.
Yeah, definitely. So do you guys have any memories from opening weekend or the premiere, or did you have a big premiere, or was it?
It was mind-blowing because I know when I shot this, we shot it in 21 days. It was so low budget. Well, we don't get residuals.
Which is not, that's not
We
right,
never got
though.
residuals, and
But
that's illegal, but
That's
we
illegal
didn't.
what they did.
Oh,
And
man.
we shot it affirmative action, which means you make about as much money as you would if you were out cocktail waitressing.
Oh, wow.
So there's no money to be made. It was a labor of love.
Yikes.
And what did you ask? What was what?
Making me forget now. If you had any memories from opening weekend or
Oh,
when the
yeah.
film
So,
released,
you know, we
or
all thought it
premiere?
would go away. We thought we just shot something that no one will ever see. It's not going to get a theatrical release. 2 weeks later, we'll have forgotten all about it like it didn't happen. And they released it at the Mann's Chinese Theater, which is the biggest, most historic theater in Hollywood. I mean, this
Yeah.
is where Marilyn Monroe and your
Yeah.
Charlie Chaplin and Mary Pickford. I mean, everybody from the history of Hollywood, from the beginning of Hollywood.
Yeah.
This is the most glamorous historic theater.
Wow.
And they did a huge red carpet.
Wow.
And then we got a great review in Variety.
Right.
And the whole thing was just shocking.
Wow, that's so cool. That must have been a blast. That must have been a great time. Any memories more of the same, or?
You know what? I think that was the weekend I took too much acid. No. No, I don't remember the red carpet. I think I was somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I got to see
Were
them
you
from
there?
here. Huh?
At the Man's Chinese Theater.
I don't think I was there.
Wow.
Maybe you were filming something else
I think
already.
I was gone.
Yeah.
You were probably
Wow.
off
And I
Probably
working.
missed it. And then I
Oh,
missed you guys' big, to do in Burbank.
Burbank.
When it was coming out or something like that, and everybody in the cast and crew was there. You missed it too.
I don't know. Maybe I did.
So this is one of those movies that feels kind of like it's sort of bigger now than even when it came out. I mean, is that something that ever hit you guys like years after the film's release? Like wow, this thing's really got legs, or this is becoming a classic, or this is on TV a lot, or do you ever remember a moment?
Weird. It's so weird to think that, and it's how old? 32 years or something.
It's about that, yeah.
Well, that means we were 5 and 6, baby.
I know we were so young
And aged like wine.
and innocent when we did it.
We were 5 and 6.
Yes.
5 and 6.
Came
Yeah.
a
I
while
won't, I
ago.
won't even tell which one is 5 and which one is 6.
No.
Oh, classic. So, what are your guys' thoughts on the remake?
I love the fact that Shannon's here because this is the first time there are two Angelas in the same place.
Wow.
And I was trying to get Ryan to let us do photo ops together. I mean,
that
we're
would be
going to have to
awesome.
sneak them because we're not on the schedule together.
Oh, we have to do some renegade photos for
But
sure.
the whole thing is, it's so mind-blowingly flattering. It's so mind-blowingly flattering. And I have to wonder if the cast of, Tim Curry, what's it called? Rocky
Oh,
Horror.
Rocky Horror.
I have to wonder if they feel the same way. That they thought, we're doing something that's incredibly fun. No one's ever going to see it, so we're just going to go absolutely crazy. Because why not?
Yeah.
And then it's because they went absolutely crazy, because they thought no one was ever going to see it, that it becomes something that really inspires people and gets people excited, and they still identify with those characters. I mean, sometimes from what I'm hearing, I have never made one of these outrageously expensive movies where you're getting paid $20 million, one of the Julia Roberts kind of movies.
Right.
But from what I've heard, there's so much pressure. The directors are obsessed. Everybody's obsessed. Everybody's at each other's throats, as always. And there's so much money involved that they can be very stilted. Because as an actor, you're under this god-awful amount of pressure. The pressure we were under was the effects.
Yes.
But it's one of the reasons I took the movie. Steve had just won the Oscar for Ghostbusters, and I wanted to do the effects. I thought the effects would be fun.
Oh, wow. And
Boy, were you
I was
wrong.
just warming my hands over the fire.
And that was like a 6-second thing.
And they lit my hands on fire.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, speaking of the effects being fun, you met your future husband getting prosthetic molds done, right?
Yes. Yeah. I went to his lab studio thing, and so they said they had to do a life cast of my breasts. So I always say anybody that does that has to date me at least. So I met him there, and I thought, oh, he's cute, but he was just real, like very, no, you do it like this, and kind of bossy about stuff.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't until the wrap party that we started dating.
Okay.
Which was after the film. But
Okay.
It was just so weird because he said, I thought you were kind of loose because you just took off your top. I go, well, I had to. You were going to do a life cast of that. I'm like, oh, come on.
Oh, man. And then on the last question, too, your thoughts on the remake?
I haven't seen the remake.
Ah.
I like to always watch the originals of everything.
I try and avoid remakes at all,
Yeah,
as many
me
costs
too.
as I can. There's some that are great,
Yes.
There's a small handful, but usually the original's amazing. That's why it's being remade. And
I know.
Just watch the amazing original,
Exactly.
So I could definitely feel you on that. And now, it's funny because Hollywood went through their remake phase, very heavy. And now I feel like we're kind of coming out of that, and now we're getting into sequels, again, and it's like even we're getting rid of, reboots from the continuity to go back to the original timeline. And I was curious if that's something you guys would you be a fan of A Night of the Demons 4?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, would be totally different characters. Would be possessed, like, people. I don't know what to say. Possessed older women. Some cougars. So it could be interesting.
Night of the Cougars, there you go.
Night of the Cougar.
I like Night of the Cougars, Linnea.
Yeah.
That's actually a really decent title. Think
That's
about
a
it.
really good idea.
That's not bad at all.
You get the money, and then we'll be in it.
All right, if you guys are
No,
the Cougars, I'll get the money.
I'll tell you what. If they let me
Done.
write it, I would write it.
Perfect.
Because I think what it needs to be, what it could be, is the children of the survivors. I'm going to give away my story. If anybody wants to write it, because somebody needs to write it. And I think that because Kathy and Alvin survive, if their kids grew up hearing their parents tell these ridiculous, tales about what happened to them in the haunted house, what happened to them, and the kids think their parents are nuts.
Oh, totally.
So the kids go out to Hull House to go have their own party there. But maybe one of the moms say that Kathy went crazy, and her daughter wants to go find out what happened to her mother. I mean, that could be cool.
I'm so in for this.
That could be
this
cool.
Is fantastic.
And
I'm
I could write it if they let me write, could write it.
You heard it here first, folks.
And if I played, I could be in a flashback
Yeah.
of what had happened, and
sure.
then if they want to put me in it again,
Well,
we would have to really tweak it so that I could be in it.
And make more money.
That would be awesome. I'm so in on this. This sounds like fantastic. So I do want to give a chance for the audience to get in questions. Guys, you have anything you want to ask?
Before you do, I have something for Linnea.
Oh, okay. Oh, by all means.
Now, what I discovered this morning, I don't know if you've seen this post on Facebook. When you go to lunch here on the other side of the casino, the restaurant is in a candy store, and the bar is in a candy store. So I look over, and somebody's got this drink, and it's filled with candy. And I was already taking pictures, this huge thing. And then I look over again, and it's steaming. They put dry ice in it, and all this smoke is coming up out of it.
Whoa.
So this is an amazing casino. I mean, we're going to have a ball here.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you write on all your pictures? You naughty thing.
Do you have sour balls?
Yes.
I do.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Now you have your own sour balls.
Oh my God. We'll have to give these all to the guys.
This.
Because maybe there'll be some cute boys there.
This
You
is
can pose
historic.
for your sour balls. Have you got your dress together?
I love this.
Did you get the pink dress
I
together?
haven't seen it yet, but I know it's being done. Finally.
That's right. There's going to
Well-
be some in-costume photo ops going down.
And we
Very,
have
very
in this
exclusive.
audience my Mangelas and Fangelas who are going to be in drag tomorrow. So we have two gentlemen who've flown all the way from Los Angeles
Oh, wow.
and are going to be in absolute perfect drag as
Wow.
Angela
Wow.
and Suzanne.
Incredible, yeah.
So they're going to be four of us, if you can stand that.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I'll be jealous.
Greg and David are going to be us.
Oh my gosh!
So
I
we're
can't wait.
making history. If you haven't signed up for the photo ops, please sign up for the photo ops.
Seriously, yeah.
I drag this dress in this suitcase all the way. So I have 2 ginormous suitcases. One of them is filled with my hoop skirt and everything because Greg designed it for me and bought it all for me. And we've got the jewelry and the tiara and the veil and the makeup and the nail polish. We have everything perfect.
Wow.
And the first time I've ever seen Suzanne in drag.
Yeah,
Yep,
you're right.
that's right. It's the first time I've ever seen any man do you in drag.
I haven't seen it either. And also, do you remember they promised our costumes to us and they never gave them to us? They disappeared.
Yeah, of course not.
We know they're
They also
somewhere.
promised to pay us.
Yeah, they did.
Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
Yeah.
It'll be
Wow, it's been a while.
there. 30 years. That
Yeah.
U.S. Postal Service is enough to make
It's
anyone
horrible.
sick. Yeah, horrible, horrible. Did anyone in the audience, guys, have any questions that you wanted to ask? Okay, got one over here. Oh, just try and speak up a little bit. It's real hard to hear you.
For Linnea, someone said that you were in a punk band like, a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
What's the name?
The Skirts, and I played guitar and sang and wrote, and then the bass player was Haiti Pomar, and she, played bass, wrote, and sang too, and then we'd have the spontaneous combusting drummer all the time, because drummers you just can't keep. They don't have cars usually. It's so crazy, and we just go through a lot of drummers. No, they don't want to. Somebody has to have a car to
Linnea, I
lug
did not know you played guitar and sang.
Mm-hmm.
Good grief. Do you still?
I'm starting to write more songs, because I love writing songs. I really do.
Wow, that's
And
incredible.
recording, I love recording.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you sang.
I got one of my songs in a movie in Nightmare Sisters.
Oh, honey.
That was fun to get.
Well, Demons 4, I think you should do the soundtrack.
Yes. Okay, I'm doing the soundtrack of this new movie.
This is a pretty big announcement here, guys. We got the script, we got the soundtrack, Demons 4, it's ready to go.
Anybody want to put up the money?
Yeah, I think I see some hands
got
in the
$1.
back there. Let's see, there
Yes,
we go.
it's a start.
Oh,
Just
Kickstarter. Are you
show us
kidding
some
me?
money.
You crowdfund this, Night of the Demons 4 with the original cast, that would go through the roof. You guys would have the money in no time. Kickstarter or GoFundMe, yeah. Oh my God, are you kidding? It'd be
Maybe you started something that won't stop.
maybe. You know what? If I did, then I put a little bit of good to this out into this world.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. That's my contribution. That's.
You can be in it.
Oh, all right, sure.
Okay.
Why not? I'll be a weird-looking guy in the background out of focus. I'm cool with that.
Oh, jeez.
We are getting close, but I do want to actually ask you guys before we wrap it up. You guys are not just legends in the film world, but absolute legends in the convention world as well. And I was wondering if how much you guys think that's been crucial to connecting with the fans and giving back and kind of keeping the movie alive, and or if your experiences with or what you just love about doing conventions in general.
I think
Go
it's
ahead.
really good because we love the people that watch the fans. We love the people that watch the films, and I can relate to all of them because I loved horror, and they're the nicest people you can meet.
It's amazing. Horror people are so nice and polite
Yeah.
and mild-mannered. There's nothing like, yeah, it's true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's true.
Except for him. No.
I don't think we're keeping the movies alive doing the conventions.
You don't think so?
The fans are keeping the movies alive.
Oh,
I mean, when I show up and they've got Blu-ray and they've got copies of obscure posters, they're making artwork. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Somebody else came up with a painting of you and me.
Yes.
It was phenomenal.
Wow.
And phenomenal artists
Wow.
creating things. One time I did one of these and somebody had recreated Hull House in miniature.
Whoa.
But the amount of talent out there is astonishing.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're the focus of their talent. And now there are filmmakers who are coming up to me in the convention saying, I'm a writer because of you. I'm a filmmaker because of you.
Wow.
So to be able to inspire new, young creativity and artwork in this way it's such an honor.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing. And this con is going to be the first time that we really embrace the gay community and start putting a focus on the gay community and female icons in horror.
Absolutely.
And how we've been able to give them strength and will continue to give them strength.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Well, because horror used to be a taboo for actresses to do horror, any nudity, to like horror. It was just kind of like, oh, you like that. You had to like all the cool stuff that was out, that was $1 million.
Right. I know.
So we all found a place to be. A convention.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also agree. I love these people. I have such a ball. My fans are the nicest, kindest, most generous people I've ever met.
Well, it's a two-way street because as soon as I started doing conventions, everyone, like, your reputation definitely precedes you as being, incredibly kind to your fans, both of you. And, that was like from the first con I did, it was like, oh, you got to meet Linnea and Amelia. Like, they're amazing. And, I've heard that at almost every con I've ever been to. So
Wow.
it really says a lot about the two of you and your character. So before we wrap it up, I do want to ask, if you have any projects coming up or anywhere online that fans can follow you, keep in touch with you, any upcoming conventions or besides Night of the Demons 4, which is happening.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, my Mangela, mans my Instagram. So we've got that going all the time. The Facebook's going all the time. I've written 6 books about communicating with animals. If you know much about me, you're going to know about that. So I'm teaching those workshops in Knoxville, Tennessee, Chicago, and Palm Springs, and then on to Europe, Wales. I have a charity in Africa where I go into the schools in rural communities and work with the children. And we dance as lions, we draw lions, we make up plays about poaching and protecting animals. In Zimbabwe, I do it for the elephants. In Rwanda, I do it for the gorilla.
Oh, my God.
In South Africa, I do it for lions. Zim, I did it for pangolin recently. And it's the entire focus of the charity is how I use my dance now and how I use my acting from back in the day. It's to empower African kids.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Keep the girls in school, get the girls in school, get the girls motivated so they can get jobs on the safari parks, get the boys working on the safari parks so that they're not caving into the poachers. And the whole goal of Archangel is to educate the next generation of kids. And Linnea is a big animal lover too, so this is another thing that we share.
Oh, yes.
Super cool.
And also horror people love animals, I know,
Thank you.
more than anything.
And the conventions, and we'll be together, I hope, at all of them. So the next one is, for me, is Seattle, is the Crypticon. That's the beginning of May. And then the end of May, Pop, Rock, and Horror in Gettysburg. First one with that. And then I'm going to continue, I'm doing Days of the Dead. So in August, it's Louisville, Kentucky. September, Charlotte. October's Dallas, and then the rest, we're trying to hammer out the whole schedule. I might come back from Europe in July and do Indy. I don't know if I can manage the jet lag. Are you going to be at Indy?
I don't think so. I'm in what month?
July.
I don't think so, but I know
you in
Kevin
Seattle?
was saying we would be in Dallas.
We're going to do a Demons reunion in Dallas.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. We'll have Stooge and everybody. It'll be really fun.
So where's your next con?
Let's
I don't
see.
know how you keep up with it all, Linnea.
Where is it, Matt? It's on my website.
That's very good.
Okay, the first question was, okay, go to my website, go to my official Linnea Quigley Facebook page, and everything is listed where I'll be because I don't know.
And mine are ameliakinkade.com or Language and Miracles Institute. Sign up for my newsletter. Get in that system. I've got an online school. We're doing webinars. The entire world is online. I've got students in Switzerland, Germany, England, Ireland, France, Brazil, Portugal, India, London, South Africa, South Korea, and we all are Japan. We're all online together. We're all learning how to communicate better with the animals that we love and with all of creation, and learning how to hone our own intuition and our own supernatural powers, which are actually not supernatural at all. They're just part of what you're meant to be. So that's languageofmiraclesinstitute.com. And I hope you all have an absolutely freaking amazing weekend.
Awesome. All right, yeah, give one more round of applause.
This is fun. Yay!
Definitely come check out these legends at their table, guys. Get some pictures, get some photo ops, get some autographs. I mean, they're just amazing, and they have a lot more stories to tell you than we could fit into just one panel. So one more round of applause for these two amazing legends.
Thank you. I'll take my sour balls away with me.